Good morning, everybody. This is Nirasha from Just Simply Change. Yesterday, I went on live and I was talking about my 6Ps to actually progress through lockdown, the second lockdown that we're having. And I had quite a few people that sent me private messages talking about some of the trials that they are going through, and especially some of the feelings that they've had during the first lockdown is surfacing again. And I'm going to be highlighting a few things. And I had a really detailed personal message from this one very special person. And she realized now with second lockdown, she's starting to feel anxious, and that anxious feeling is bubbling inside her because she knew what she experienced in the first lockdown. Let me tell you a little bit about what was happening with her. She said that she's never ever experienced so much of fear and with the fear of falling ill, and because of that she was housebound, and she was housebound alone. So she was in isolation because she was vulnerable. She was in isolation alone. Now, being alone, having nobody to talk to, having nobody to communicate, or even for to have this personal hugs and sharing this personal space. And because of that, this person started to slip into feelings and thoughts of suicide. Now, when this happens, it is a very hard feeling to just snap out of it. So I know that many people say, oh, why would somebody feel that low by being alone? Now, when we are alone and when we are experiencing this feeling of isolation, it starts in our mind. And because we are all tribal beings, we feel and we need to belong. And we love belonging. We are human beings. We love being around other people. We are social beings. And because of this, we tend to feel very lonely when we are by ourselves. Some of us need constant, people around them constantly. I love having people around me constantly. And I was fortunate that during lockdown, I had my kids, my son came home from university, my daughter was at home, my husband was at home. So it was really good being surrounded with people. And I totally agree with this person that sent me her message, that it can be very lonely. And because you are so lonely, you want to keep that mind busy. Because if your mind is not busy, it starts to have these intrusive thoughts popping in. And you know that we have between 50 to 70,000 thoughts in a day. So if you latch on to a negative thought, a harming thought, you'd find that the entire day will be, you'll have these looping, intrusive thoughts popping in and out of your mind throughout the day. And for a person that, who doesn't have the tools to actually stop and knowing where the pause button is, it's very hard for them to actually pause on that thought. It's like a roller coaster that goes on and on and on and on, and you just don't know where the stop button is. So she wanted to know, what can we do? What can we do to actually keep the mind occupied so that we don't feel this deep loneliness? Now, one of the things that I started doing, I started occupying myself by doing new things. So yesterday I spoke about, being physical, going out, starting a health regime. Now, the only reason why we say do exercise and do get some fresh air, it's because it helps to stimulate serotonin and endorphins, and it gives you a bit of adrenaline in your brain and in your body. And if you are able to do that, then it's brilliant. You know what? If you get that dose of serotonin and endorphins coming into your body, it will be awesome. And you will find that you can become happier for longer periods. But if you're not exercising and you're not eating healthily, even foods affect the type of chemicals that our brain and our body produces. So having a little bit of dark chocolate is brilliant to pep yourself up. And if you're feeling really stressed and anxious and depressed, a bit of dark chocolate is beautiful in helping you lift those feelings. exercising definitely, and find some time to meditate. And I know, guys, I know you hear everybody talking about meditation. You know, meditation is not about stilling the mind. Meditation is all about getting all of your focus, like all that COVID worry, all the stress and anxiousness of other people and other energies. You basically now shutting all of those things out of your mind, and you are focusing on one specific thing. And when you start to meditate, you start to go within your body. You start to surf. I call it you surfing the internet. And when you start to surf the internet, you will find so much of strength. You will find so many gems inside of you. You know, so much of strength, so much of love, so much of happiness. And you will slowly start to make your own happiness. You will start to recognize this fountain of love and happiness and strength that you have within yourself. And once you find that fountain, you will know that it's constantly flowing. And you just need to tap into it. Another great way to do it, to stop the thoughts from flowing constantly, is not to keep busy. You can never keep busy all the time, because when you keep busy all the time, you are training your mind. You are training the mind to constantly be thinking, constantly be working. And when that happens, then you don't know when to shut off and you don't know when to stop. And when that happens, when it's time to get to bed, you'd find that your mind is still working. And because your mind is still working, you find it hard sleeping. And if you don't have enough sleep, at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep, you wake up tired. And when you wake up tired, it becomes an avalanche of other emotions. You start to feel more anxious, more stressed, more depressed because of the lack of sleep. And then because of the tiredness of your body, you start to feel physically ill, and your immune system is compromised. And when your immune system is compromised, you end up getting ill. And when you get ill, you fear, oh, is it COVID? Do I have the virus in me? And it becomes this looping thought, this looping roller coaster that goes up and down in your mind. So if you can start off learning how to switch off, and one of the best ways is doing the meditation, you know, whether you're doing it, start practicing for 30 seconds. Start to focus on your breath. You know, we all breathe in and out. Our breath is so pure, so beautiful. And our breath is one of the best ways to get rid of toxins from our body. So start to take deep breaths in. In 1 minute, you should be taking around 4 to 5 breaths. So that means if you're taking more breaths, that means you are breathing too fast. You're not allowing the oxygen to go through the body. And at the same time, you're not allowing the bloodstream to pick up the carbon dioxide to bring out the toxins in your exhalation. So one great way is close your eyes and just focus on taking deep breaths in. Do it with me now. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out. Let your exhalation be longer. So let's do it again. Breathe in. Breathe out. And let there be a little sizzling of the noise in the throat. And when you start to do that, you start to focus on the noise of your breath. And while you're focusing on the noise of your breath, you're forgetting about everything else around you. And I usually love to chant so on your in-breath and hum on your out-breath. And when you are able to do that, you notice that you will say, so, you breathe in, hum. And now you're not saying this out aloud, you're saying it silently in your mind. And whenever you find that your mind is wandering again about something around you, something about COVID, bring it back to this word, so hum. And so hum means I am God, I am divine. And when you start to meditate on this, you can do it for 1 minute. And then tomorrow do it for 2 minutes. And then eventually you would find that you are able to sit still for about 15 to 20 minutes. After 3 or 4 months of practice, and I've been doing meditation for a long time, I've been doing guided meditation, I started this practice about 3 months ago, and my mind is still like a monkey mind. It still goes running around while I'm under or doing my meditation. So be gentle on yourself, be patient with yourself. Okay, I hope you found this useful. And Sanjana and Amit and Sam, thank you for coming on and thank you for watching. I hope you find it useful. If you have any questions, just send it to me, and I'll do a Facebook Live where I would attempt to answer them. Remember, skill set is one thing, but mindset is everything. So if you want to become successful in life, you just have to make sure that you remember the 6 P's, and you remember that being a positive person, finding that positive part of your mind is the best way to find this balance in you. And I know you all can do it, and I believe in you guys 100%. So lots of love. Keep smiling, because every time you smile, that's a natural way for the brain and your body to produce serotonin. So smile and find your happy space. Lots of love.